Hello, and welcome to the Smart Injury Doctors Podcast, the injury market's top program for doctors, lawyers, and insurers who want to gain greater insight on how to improve patient recovery results and deliver better services in the U.S. injury market. Please welcome your host, Dr. Jeffrey Allen Kronk.
Okay, doctors, what I want to talk about today is attorneys, personal injury attorneys are highly uneducated. I know that's going to sound blunt, but it's the truth. They're highly uneducated in the injuries that they represent. Now, there's reasons for that. The main reason will come up as, hey, I don't really need to know anything about the injuries. It's the doctor's job. Now, what I'm going to tell you is that uneducatedness, that area where the personal injury attorneys are not educated. And I guess I'm gonna also say personal injury attorneys are the only attorneys that really are not educated in the condition that they represent. So what I mean by that is if somebody breaks a contract and they injure me in a contract, I hire a contract attorney and they've studied everything there is to know about contracts. They go to seminars, they geek out on contracts. If I go to an asbestos attorney for asbestos exposure, that attorney has studied everything there is to know about asbestos. Where does it accumulate in the body? What are the signs and symptoms of it? How does it interrelate with comorbidities? What kind of testing do you get to confirm the fact that the patient has it at all? So it's only when you get into the personal injury space that the attorneys they're not educated in the injuries that they represent. In the spine space, there's 96,000 personal injury attorneys throughout the United States. And one of the main areas is auto injuries that they represent. And auto injuries, the main injuries, spinal injuries, but they've never been trained or they've never been educated in those injuries. Now, what that represents to you listening out here today, to the doctor and also to a lawyer, it represents a huge opportunity for you because you can educate them and show them things that they've never seen before. There's a huge gap here, and you can fill that gap. There's a need for education of injuries. Now, most doctors that go in and educate lawyers, in my experience, and I've had a lot of it, I've seen a lot of it, is way over the attorney's head. It's too high of a gradient. You're starting to teach them 400 level stuff when they haven't even been to kindergarten on these injuries. So you have to start out very, very basic with them, but it provides a humongous opportunity. Anybody that can go out there and start to educate attorneys. The simplicity of it is when you're dealing with spinal injuries, there's three main injuries. And educating them on these three main injuries is extremely easy. I'm going to play a clip here for you. I'm going to play a couple clips, and I just want to have you listen to what doctors have said about when you have something that's very simple to educate. What are the results of that? So take a listen.
Well, I was just going to give you a little plug testimonial. Haven't done it in too long, and I'm back on the accountability path. But did a few, maybe two, maybe three attorney presentations, but one in particular, I think it was the first one we gave. I got 14 referrals from it in 6 weeks.
You got to know this part of it. That's the doctor's training. You got to know this part of it, because this part of it, really, you own this part of it. Then going out to attorneys and being able to communicate in a way that kind of bites and indicates. Matt, you on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Matt, you've been in the program for what, maybe 3 months?
Not even. Like 60 days.
60 days. Okay.
Maybe 9.
How many referrals?
Ooh. 17.
17 referrals. Good.
And from like 6 different attorneys. And I've only done the education for one of them.
Now, what you just heard is not really all that hard to do. And it's actually fun to do. So when you can go out and you can educate an attorney on something unique, something that they haven't seen before. A lot of doctors, the meet and greet, the lunch, the meet and greet of, hey, I'm just going to meet you. I don't really know what to say to you. I'm just going to give you a great lunch. I'm going to show you how professional I am. I'm going to talk a little bit about my clinic. That stuff doesn't, I mean, it works to a degree. It works to a degree that all human interactions work to a degree, but there's nothing sophisticated about it. There's nothing targeted about it. Just sending your people around with goodies is good. It's fine, just like you would with any other business, but there's nothing really targeted with it. I mean, if you want to get into training personal injury attorneys, you got to have something unique to train them with. And the thing is, the only thing that they think they know is a disc herniation. So they don't know, they don't really need to know the fracture, but they don't know anything about the other main injury to the spine, the one that causes all the symptoms, they don't know anything about. So when you come up and you start educating them on this, they totally respond. 100% respond. So again, you heard some clips back there. It's not hard to get attorneys to respond. It's not hard to set up meetings. Now, there's other things that you have to do. You have to do follow-up. You can't just go and, hey, you're on a date and you just had this magnificent date and then you don't follow up. So there are follow-up things that also significantly help with attorney relationships. But today, you need to be out there. You need to be unique. And today, more than ever, you need to be out building your personal injury practice. And the reason why I say building your personal injury practice, one, it's one of the most motivating practices to build. It's one of the most purpose-driven practices to build. 55% or more of the people that have a spinal injury are never going to fully recover unless they're with doctors that are in front of the bell curve. They have to get with the best of the best doctors. And when you master being the best of the best doctors, and when you start, and I'm not talking about, hey, that's something that you just happens overnight. You master it. That becomes your drive, your goal. That's what you base your education on. And then you can simplify your communication, especially when educating attorneys. It's a no-brainer. And doctors, I highly recommend, especially right now, I mean, this while I'm recording it is 11/7/2022, 7th of November, 2022. We are in a recession. And that recession is going to get worse. It's not going to get better. So basically, you want to be in the personal injury space. Now, for some of you, it's just being in the personal injury space means, hey, I need 2 to 4 new injury patients a month, and it can take my practice right through a major recession. That's where some of you are at. Some of you need 5 to 10. Some of you need 10 to 20. But what I'm saying is it's not that many. And the thing is, when you understand how to build a personal injury practice, you also understand how to build a chronic pain practice, because they're one and the same, basically. So, doctors, just a short riff on a particular subject today on attorney education and the opportunity that it provides for you. If you have questions about what I've talked about, or you have questions on our program, call us at 800-940-6513 or look us up on the net at www.smartinjurydoctors.com. We also have a free private Facebook group, Smart Injury Doctors Private Practice Building Success Network. You can look us up and join that group, and we provide you with lots of additional educational materials straight out of our program. So, doctors, thank you very much for your time and attention. I look forward to having you on the next podcast.
You've been listening to the Smart Injury Doctors Podcast, the #1 audio production show for professionals in the U.S. injury market that want to deliver better injury services to the patients, clients, or insureds they serve. If you like what you heard today, please leave us a review and don't forget to join us on our next program.